project live workshop 2 of the Skilled for Work Academy. And this live project workshop is going to be an exciting one. I can't wait for you to, I can't wait for us to get right into this live project workshop. Okay. Who is ready? Who is ready to get started? Now I am ready, and Chinenye Chukwu is going to come to first talk about our experience in the last, or rather, let's even talk about the last module. Let's talk about the experience of Chinenye Chukwu in the last module. Then we are going to get started. We are going to get started. So Chinenye, let me unmute you. Chinenye and Confidence, those are the two people that are going to speak. So Chinenye, you go first.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you so much once again for putting this together. In fact, I'm owing lots of review in the review channel. But first, just like you asked, the selling module was like the icing on the cake for me. You know, it's like when you have prepared a delicious meal and then you serve it, you plate it properly. You know, your eyes eat before your mouth. So that's what the selling module has done for me personally. And in fact, when my husband and I discussed the night I finished it, I had to tell him, you need to come and listen to this module. You need to listen to it. Yes. I had to tell him, you need to come and listen to this so that you'll be better packaged on LinkedIn and as a professional that he is too. I wanted us to be on the same page professionally. So, and then the elevation pitch, I didn't know how much hours it would take me to craft it until I started.
It takes hours. It takes hours. I know.
I kept on canceling and rewriting and re-editing until I was satisfied, at least to an extent, because I don't think it's something one can be thoroughly satisfied. You will still keep, reinventing yourself. But I just want to say thank you for putting it together. I've done a couple of programs, but none that is as well-rounded as this. Selling yourself, not just having the skills. So I don't know what this new module will be like, but so far, I think this one has to be my favorite because it really, really was knowledge-packed. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that, Chinenye. So I'm going to let Confidence speak. Confidence, please come on and let's do before we get into our main task of the day.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for the opportunity to speak. And again, thank you so much for really putting this whole program together. It's amazing. I've never had a program like this in my entire life of taking programs. And this last module, like Chinenye rightly said, it was the icing on the entire cake. It's like whipped cream icing on a very nice velvet cake. Because it was something else for me. I didn't even know that there is like the summary of your CV has to be that packed. Normally, I would just write my CV summary, just basically, and then decide and then start listing out everything, experiences and all of that. But I was really surprised seeing that you really have to sell yourself in summary. Nobody ever told me that. In
I know, right?
Summary of few sentences, you really have to sell. It was shocking. And also, they tell me about yourself module, about self-lesson. It was wonderful knowing that you have to really, really takes time to sit down. And actually, at the time, I'm sure I knew myself because when I began writing about myself, I felt like I didn't know these things about myself. Why am I writing? So it was really, really mind-blowing. It was mind-opening.
I know, it's liberating when you have to sit down.
Exactly, that's the word. It was really liberating for me. I when I wrote down things about myself, I was like, wow, so I am all of these things. Yeah,
That's
it was
always the
amazing.
aha moment for people, like me. And that's always, like, I always tell people that there's a reason we are dripping this course, because if we don't drip the course, like we don't let people have access to it, and they will selling model, they want to just grab my template and they don't come with substance. So imagine somebody jumping the personality model, which is the very first thing of knowing themselves. They've jumped how they will structure their work, as in the structure model. They've jumped all the work that they need to do. Then they come and start packaging nonsense, because by the time they get to the selling, is you're selling, yes, do you understand? So they package nonsense. So imagine if I give people access, they would not get to that model, and like, it's just basically is a struggle, because they did not go through the process to arrive at that particular place. So when people tell me, oh, do you do CVs? Do you do? I say, I will not give you my templates, because if I give you, you would come back and tell me what I teach you does not work. You know why? You did not do the work to get there. So it is useless to you if I just give you a template, because you won't understand the amount of work that needs to go into it. So I totally understand when you and Chineyefo said, Omo, you all sit down, do the work, cancel. Like, it takes work. Even when I teach this on the GOP program, like when I do an expanded version of, because like the summary you see in that CV, there is a system to actually creating it on the GOP program. Like there's a 7-step system to creating an expanded version. So it is just a version of it that is in the CV. So there's a version that is going into other places, like in your entire personal brand. So some are going to CV, some are going to LinkedIn, some like they are going into different assets, right? So it's the CV version that is actually on that CV. So I know it takes time, even for professionals on the GOP that have gone through the entire framework of crafting it. It takes time. It takes time. And it's always, I always say it's ironical, because people be like, it's me, I'm right. I'm writing about me. Like, why is it taking? That's always the frustrating part for people. Like it's me. Like, they're not asking me to sell something else. Do you understand? So it's ironical, but it's just the truth that people don't actually know themselves enough value-wise. Like, they can't sell their own value to another person. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. So now let's get right into this thing. And this one we are going to do not, I don't know, for some reason, we not wrote an hour. This is an hour, 15 minutes project. So please listen to the instruction, then we are going to get right into it. So now, what is this thing about? The aim of this project, this is the second live project in our Workplace Foundational Skills program, will be to test your understanding of certain soft skills. And they're going to include the organization, your ability to build SOPs as a standard operating procedures. You should have, on the SOP, everybody in this room should understand what that is. Your ability to plan, your planning skills and coordination skills, amongst others. But these are the 4 major things I want you to actually look at. Ability to organize, ability to build SOPs as a planning and coordination skills. That's the aim of this project. What's the scenario? Real life scenario. iTrain Africa wants to launch batch 4 of the WFS. iTrain Africa is an EdTech social enterprise, and of course, you know what iTrain Africa is. And we are launching the batch 4 of this program. And they would like to organize a team meeting to analyze the batch 3. Like batch 3 results, do 3 lists to present, as in when you are presenting your results. Now, what are the tasks? Here, the first thing I want you to do is meeting agenda. I want you to come up with a meeting agenda. But again, send this copy group, like download this PDF into the group now. Please do that. We will send it. This is the scenario. We are learning to set up a meeting to what? Analyze the results of batching. This is a typical thing we do. Like, this did not come out. This is a real life scenario. So now we want you to first write what? A meeting agenda. And I don't want you to start cracking your head. I've taught you how to work smart in this life. I will say, please, like, education has moved past the stage where I'm going to test your ability to remember things. What I'm saying, mental capacity to think. I'm not, we've passed that school age, like at work, it is about efficiency, prioritization. That's like how efficient you are. Like I always say, I would rather have a smart worker than a hard worker, because lazy smart workers find easy ways to do hard things. Do you understand? Lazy smart workers find easy ways to do hard things. And I'll give you an example. It's like, let me say, if I say, oh, go and enroll people for me on a course. A person that wants to enroll maybe 1,000 people, a hard worker will say, let me start early and start enrolling them one by one. A smart worker will say, is there a way I can enroll all of them at once? I will first go and ask ChatGPT, ask, research, spend the first half of their time researching and saying, let me find easy solutions to do the same work in a shorter time. So they first spend their time researching because they don't want to do the hard work. And then they find solutions. And then they use that solution to do the work. So you will see work that you should take another hard worker a whole day. It will take a smart worker 1 hour. Because why? They first used 55 minutes of their distance to assess the problem and say, how do I tackle this problem? Then they use 5 minutes to do the tasks. Be that worker that first uses critical thinking to assess your task before using an entire day to do a 1 hour task. Now, write a good prompt for ChatGPT. That is as in, I did not say go and start saying, let me see. ChatGPT will remind you what the meeting agenda looks like. That is not the main task. So the main task that I'm testing now in this particular one is your ability to prompt ChatGPT. Your ability to what? To prompt ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is only as good as the garbage you give it. ChatGPT is, or Meta AI or Gemini, any one of them you choose to use, it is only as good as what you give it. So what I'm testing in this one is your critical thinking, ability to instruct AI to do the right thing. Write a good prompt telling ChatGPT the things that would happen. So it means that I have told you what the meeting is about. What will happen in that meeting? Tell ChatGPT what will happen in that meeting. Like, tell it the purpose of the meeting. Ensure the prompt also includes the people that should be in that meeting. The date of the meeting, the time of the meeting, and so on. Ask it when you are giving ChatGPT a robust information about what the meeting should be like. Then you ask it to create a meeting agenda for you. Notes, what you give ChatGPT will determine what it's going to give you. So when I say go to ChatGPT and ask for a meeting agenda, you first need to describe the scenario, because this one is not a well-detailed scenario. I just told you we are launching batch 4, batch 3, this thing. So it means that what you first need to think about it. I want you to think about it. If I say iTrain Africa, does ChatGPT know what iTrain Africa is? No. So it'd be like, oh, iTrain Africa is an edtech enterprise. They have online courses that teaches about workplace skills, these workplace skills. I want you to, iTrain Africa has been launching this course, and this is the batch 4. In order for them to keep scaling, you need to tell ChatGPT all these things. In order for iTrain Africa to scale this particular thing or to have better results in enrollment, they need to have a meeting. Tell it the purpose. What is the meeting for? To what? Analyze results of the batch 3, the success and everything. Now, who will be in this typical meeting? Ask yourself. You can also ask ChatGPT, like, in this kind of meeting, so that might be the first question. Who will be in this meeting? Before you now say, okay, all these people should be in that meeting, then you now collect that information and use it to write the main prompt itself and say, at this meeting, this person will be present, this will draft the meeting agenda. Do you understand me? Like, you can first ask series of questions of AI to ensure that you are describing a proper scenario for ChatGPT to give you meeting. Because if your meeting agenda is not robust, it means that you did not prompt ChatGPT well. So the first thing you're going to deliver from me is the thing you wrote for ChatGPT to give you this agenda, you will put it on a Google document. Like, the prompts you ended up coming up in your team, like, this is what we will type and give ChatGPT so to give us something sensible. You will write that prompt, put it on a Google document, number 1. So what I will first be seeing on your Google document is what? Is the prompts that you gave ChatGPT to come up with a meeting agenda. Then, of course, second, you now put the meeting agenda ChatGPT gave you on a Google document. But first, the prompts, because I need to check your critical thinking, your ability to describe in detail to ChatGPT. Number two, I need to also check what? Your ability to structure. And this is where task 2 comes in. Create a standard operating procedure, SOP, for the launch of batch 4. Note that you can actually to give you all the elements of an existing course. This is a sample of an SOP for projects we taught you in Module 5, Lesson 8. Please take notes. The thing I taught you in Module 5, Lesson 8 is an Excel sheet. Because why? This is not, if you go and ask ChatGPT to generate you an SOP, it will generate it on a Google document for you. I am screaming now. It will generate it on a Google document for you. I don't want to see any group coming back here with a Google document SOP. I said we are launching. Is it a one task thing? When you say you are launching batch 4, is it only one task you will do in batch 4 or multiple tasks? And I say, whenever you are achieving launch of batch 4, is it a project or a single task? Somebody should answer me first in the comment section. When you say I want to launch batch 4, you are planning for, is it a project or is it one task? It is a project, right? It means that you will not be using one task template, Abby. It is a project. It is not a one task template. If I see Google documents here, that you are not showing me an Excel kind of sheet, like that Gantt chart kind of sheets on Google Sheets that is explaining, okay, at the beginning of this thing, we are going to first do analysis. The next task is we are going to do this. I don't want to start going into the details, but I'm trying to just guide you. Create a standard operating procedure for the launch of batch 4. So you can ask ChatGPT what should be in your SOP for a project, too, but note it will give you on the Google document. If I see any of you coming on the Google documents for the SOP of a project, because I explained to you in detail, Module 5, Lesson 8, why it is better for you to actually use a sheet format where you are executing the project for your SOP, but for a single task, it's just like out of, let's say we are launching now, part of what you probably put on our SOP, you say, oh, marketing plans. I don't know, I'm just saying, maybe you put it on this thing, how we are going to market it. That means even under one marketing plan, say, you can have different activities. Maybe part of what you put on it is that we are going to have Instagram Live, for instance, as part of our marketing plan. We are going to have Zoom Live. Whatever it is you put on those things, under different sections of this thing. And of course, you have who is the tax owner, who is the marketing person. You have all those things on this thing. Why am I saying that? So what it means for you is you are going to deliver me the third thing. The first thing you are delivering is what? You are delivering the AI prompts for your meeting agenda. The second thing you are delivering is what? The meeting agenda is those ones are on the Google document. The third thing you are delivering for me is what? SOP of a project. This project. Now, the fourth thing you are delivering for me is out of all the tasks you listed on your Excel sheet project kind of thing, pick one task. Pick just one task from that Excel sheet, any task at all that is you have put that we need to do in that launch plan. Any task, it could be a task, like I just gave an example, it could be like maybe say one of the tasks you put that we should do based on after you people have analyzed the results, a supposed results of, let's say, you can even create the results. When you are giving your presentation, you come back and can say, oh, in batch 3, IT Africa enrolled 100 people. We want to make IT Africa 10 times this thing. So part of it, you have a goal. That means you now say, okay, we are going to create a radio show. We are going to pay influencer, whatever it is you put. Let's say you now say, oh, part of our strategies now is we are going to do IG Live, where we interview past participants. So that means one of the tasks you are executing in that entire launch is what? IG Live. So pick any task, or maybe one of the tasks you want to implement is email marketing. That is one single task out of the entire launch. Pick one task like that. then create a single task SOP. That one is going to be on a Google document, right? A single task SOP for a specific task. And imagine you want to give that SOP to your intern that resumed yesterday. So let me just, why did I cite that scenario? If, for instance, an intern is the one that is going to go on Instagram Live for this thing, of course, this SOP, ask ChatGPT to do it for you. But why am I saying this? You need to describe to ChatGPT how detailed your SOP needs to be. Meaning you need to tell it something. Let's say you choose IG Live as a task, and you need to tell it things like, I am launching the batch 4 of an online course that is in existence. Part of the things we want to do is to go on Instagram Live to ensure more people hear about this activity. I have an intern who has never gone on Instagram Live, and she has not been in marketing for long. But I need that to host this IG Live, point as in she's going to be interviewing XYZ. Like, you need to tell ChatGPT all the details of who the person that is hosting this is, what you want to achieve with the IG Live, the duration, everything. When you are describing to ChatGPT, you know, say, okay, generate an SOP for me that I can hand over to my subordinates who has never done this before. I taught you all these things on the course, how to prompt ChatGPT this way. So that is the fourth thing you are delivering in this webinar, rather in this workshop. Please, you have 1 hour, 15 minutes to complete this task. 5 minutes to present it when you come here. They are going to distribute you into breakout rooms. Wina is going to send this to your group right now, this particular thing. 4 things you are coming back with. 1, AI prompts for the very first task. 2, the very first task itself, the agenda. 3, the SOP for the project in a Google Sheets format. 4, the last thing, the SOP for a single task. Any task you pick from your Excel sheets that you create, any task at all from the entire project, this thing, create an SOP for a single task for it that is going to be, if you hand it to me or your intern has never done that task before, they can do it. That is the instruction. I just gave a recap of what I asked you to do. Now, I gave a recap. First, AI prompts of the task 1. 2, agenda AI finally gives you. 3, SOP of a project in a Google Sheet format. 4, SOP for a single task, which is going to be a document. I think that SOP for a single task was in lesson 6 of module 5. Sorry, lesson 7, 5, and lesson 8. So if you've not watched your this thing, or it's your case, it's time to distribute you into rooms, and you are going to, please, my advice, deliver, distribute, or break down this task immediately you enter. So somebody, you're probably generating AI prompts at the same time that you are already opening a Google Sheets that is going to help you, distribute the task so that you can get on it. Now I've opened all rooms. See you by 4, sorry, that's 16:55. That is when I'm seeing you here. 16:55, you'll be back here to present. Have a good project. Everybody, please go to your rooms. I've opened all the rooms. Join your room, join your room, join your room. Quick, 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 quick. Join your room, join your room. Project time. It's time to participate. Everybody out of this room. If you stay in this room, I'm going to throw you out into the waiting room. Is it that you join your breakout room or you go into the waiting room? You can't be here with me. Ayomide and Use Abi Adeyemi Omolade. Please out of this room.